Madani and Langer don't seem to mind, and in fact, appear to be relishing the experience. The only times they seem even slightly annoyed is right after one of Dumont's visits. A reaction, I assume, to the professor's desire for results. My plotting progress will not be tolerated much longer, but I intend to draw it out until that moment arrives. And when it does, I'll find some other way to apply the brakes. As I expected, the pictures and maps are the big problems. Not a day goes by without Madani or Langer or both asking me about one of the images. I've given explanations that make little sense to them, but that tactic will also soon wear thin. Dinner waits for Jovan and me in our room when our work is done. Most nights, Jovan barely finishes his before stumbling to bed and passing out. Not me. Tonight, like on most nights, my eyes will remain open for several more hours before I allow myself to sleep. This is my thinking time, my planning time, my time to remember. Usually, I walk around the compound, going over everything I know about the facility, adding in the few tidbits I may have picked up that day, and always ending by repeating over and over, find the chaser, extract my blood, dry it, rekey the chaser, make things right. It helps focus me through the tedium, and keeps me from losing sight of my real purposes. Without the chaser, I have no idea what the exact date is. The calendar they use here is not the same as in mine and Iffy's worlds. The best I can figure is that it's either late February or early March 2019, but I could be off by a week or two. All I know is the nights are still chilly, so we're still in winter. When I first started my nighttime walks, a soldier, seemingly a different one every night, followed me wherever I went. After a few days, though, whatever suspicions my actions garnered apparently eased to the point where my shadow was cancelled. I'm under no delusion this means I'm not still being watched. I'm sure the guards on the walls and those stationed in each of the buildings routinely report on my progress, just as I'm sure the facility's staff and student body do the same. Though there's a night here and there when I just wander as my mind whirls away, most evenings I use the time to familiarize myself with the grounds and the few buildings Jovan and I are now allowed to enter. The building with the catwalk behind it remains on the off-limits list, but I have access to one that appears nearly identical. It doesn't have the catwalk and offshoot to the beach attached to the back, but that's the only outside difference I can see. If the interiors are the same, then the catwalk should be accessible via a room along the back that requires one of those special discs to enter. Over the weeks, I've made a handful of what I'd call acquaintances, mostly students I acknowledge with a smile or a nod as we pass one another. The exceptions are the 2 professors and 5 students working in the observatory whom I've gotten to know a bit better. My relationship with them started in response to me standing outside the building, looking up at the stars. Eventually, I was invited in and shown the telescope. The only other telescopes I've seen have been in books and other timelines, but this one doesn't look all that dissimilar from them. The system here even uses computers to control the devices and cameras and monitors to view the results. The observatory team has grown used to my visits, so no one even bats an eye as I meander through the building. As impressive as the telescope setup is, however, I'm partial to the deck running around the outside of the domed roof. From there, if the fog hasn't rolled in, I can see for miles and miles in every direction. The main part of St. Jakob, which I have learned is the name of the city that sits where San Diego would be, is hidden from Trinity by the undulating coastal terrain, but the glow of its lights rises into the sky with more intensity than I remember San Diego ever producing. The city's name is interesting. Jakob, if I'm not mistaken, is a variation of Jacob, which is itself a variation of James. Diego is the Spanish version of James. So in essence, the city has the same name in both Iffy's world and this one. Are there constants in time that are difficult to alter? It's an interesting question, but one for which I'll probably never know the answer.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it. at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.